Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Yana Valachovic, and I get to be one of your speakers tonight, and I'm looking forward to this program. I'm going to bring it back to some real basic concepts. And triangles are something I like a lot. And so there's a couple important triangles when it comes to fire. So if you've ever tried to light a fire in a campfire setting or in a wood stove, you know that you need fuel and you need some air to allow that to work, and you need heat to be able to make fire, right? But when you think about fire in the wildland landscape, we know that fire behavior is affected also by having something to burn, having a weather condition that will facilitate the burning, and then topography influences the dynamics of those fires, right? So two triangles all based on a central premise of fuel. So let's drill into that a little bit. And, we've just gone through red flag warning, so maybe this is super intuitive to you all, but, the weather is something that we can't control, but, it fundamentally affects the condition of fuels. And what I find interesting when you look at these three images here of both oak woodland litter and then two images of grasslands, how difficult it can actually be to get those fine fuels to burn. But when you start in the morning, your grasses may be wet from the dew and the moisture of the evening. And then as the sun comes up, that fuel can readily lose its humidity and become dry and then become receptive to fire, right? So it doesn't take very long for some fuels to change, where the woodier fuels, the bigger size materials can take a considerably more long time period to change in their moisture availability. But then you add a little bit of wind, and then you've got the capacity both to continue to dry out the environment as well as to move fire if you have it. And all those pieces come together to create an opportunity for a red flag warning, which I think we're becoming more prepared and understand better that when we're in those red flag conditions, that we really need to behave differently and we need to think about our home environments differently so that we can protect ourselves the best we can. Now, there's another little piece about this, which is average and extreme weather conditions. And, average conditions are, what was happening before we had that lightning ignition series this summer, where, it was our normal dry time of year, but we still had moistures in our green living vegetation as well as our dry fuels that were carried from the previous wet season. And so in those time periods, we're lucky that our fire professionals are able to get a hold of most fires that start during that time period. But when we move to extreme conditions where we get extreme heat and we get intense winds, that's when things really change. And, we can debate about climate change and we can debate about how things are setting up. But the point I want to bring to you is in those extreme conditions, that's when our systems get overloaded. And that's when we really need to work hard as residents of California to be able to help others help ourselves. Because there's a lot that we can do ourselves to prepare for wildfire and both create safe places if we need them, opportunities for evacuation that are easy and smooth, and perhaps a home that doesn't need to be defended. So when you think about topography, wind is carried upslope. And you always know when you get up on top of the ridge, the ridges have a lot more wind. Well, fire follows those pathways. You can see the images from the Tubbs fire on the left, where this home did experience fire and was consumed, and the fire just went right up that canyon, right up to this hill, the top of the hill where this home was built. Intense fuel modifications had been done downslope to protect this condition from happening, but the dynamics were such that the fire was able to be still carried, and there were weaknesses in the home that then unfortunately left this home vulnerable to fire. So topography is an important consideration, where we place our home.